Good evening, sir. So today we have Dr. Shaleen Singhal, who is Dean of Research and Partnership from TERI School of Advanced Studies. Welcome, sir.
Good evening.
So can we start with the interview?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So you have held a key positions at Education Institute throughout your professional career. What are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
One is, as any person who is an academic is always interested to be around with the students. There's a lot of creativity in the discipline itself. You actually derive a lot of satisfaction by what your students and alumni and graduates are doing later on in life. So that's one important criteria to keep me connected with this sector of higher education. I had been into research, consultancy, practice, but this is one of the closest to my heart. But more importantly, it is also because of the TERI University or the TERI School of Advanced Studies now being referred as.
Okay, coming to the next question, sir. What is your philosophy of leadership? How would you describe your leadership style?
I think any leader is most successful if he is able to actually provide excitement to all his colleagues and builds up a strong team over time, and everybody is able to excel in their own portfolio. That's what I think a good leader can do, and while keeping the broader vision of the institution. So that's what we try to do at TERI School as well. And again, collaborations, partnerships within the university and outside with the many other stakeholders of this domain of higher education that helps us bring and realize our vision that we have.
Very well said, sir. So coming to the next question, how do you strategize about the key program plans for marketing and administration of your school?
I think this is where TERI School had been playing a unique role. It's not only just floating newer programs or existing programs which are already there in this higher education sector. First of all, we are focused on Masters and PhD programs only at the minute. And in that, since Masters itself is an advanced qualification, we always tend to design programs that can actually provide the graduates with higher skill, knowledge, and transferable skill sets. And that is one. But at the same time, we also look at what are the unique themes that are required for the industry now and also in the near future. And also keeping in mind how does our efforts align with country's vision as well? What is the country expecting from higher education sector? So that is where we try to focus on developing a unique cadre of professionals which are graduating from TERI School.
Okay. And how do you ensure that curriculum of TERI School of Advanced Studies is currently the best in industry?
I think first of all, to ensure this, any curriculum that we are designing for an existing theme on which the program is being developed or a new theme. First is that it has to cater to all the traditional subjects that are already there, that have been there in the higher education landscape over decades in the country. That's the first and foremost. But in all the programs that we offer, it is over and above these traditional subjects, courses or themes, where we try to bring in the value proposition, the value addition to that program, because that can only provide strength to our students when they go in practice, whether they go into industry or whether they go into research or whether they go into policy. So we do keep this provision that we bring in value addition towards their graduation over the semesters that they are being exposed to, both through taught courses as well as through the courses which are more research led.
Okay, I see. So any insights into how your university could be more welcoming to the student of different economic background and also different races?
So I would answer this relating to this question and your previous question as well. Let me just elaborate my response through some of the examples. So for example, we have an MBA program, and like any other MBA program in the country, the MBA program also caters to all the traditional courses of a business management degree. But over and above, we do provide students with this unique dimension of business sustainability. And that's a very upcoming area, not only in the country, but globally. So that provides our students with that added strength when they are into the industry. Likewise, we have a program which is MSc Economics, like any other program. All this is quite robust program. But in addition to that, the focus is over and above also on natural resources management. So the kind of learning that the students acquire through all the different courses, they do have the choice to apply this into the area of natural resources, accounting, and similar domains. Likewise, another example is of a program which is called MTech in Urban Development Management. Now, there are several programs which are focused on cities, making cities more, let's say, performing.
Yes.
And these programs in the country are generally the planning programs, urban planning programs. But in this program, we have the focus on urban planning, but over and above, the focus is also on management, on urban management, urban finance, urban governance. For example, these are actually the unique additions because this is actually required in the industry.
Yes.
So it's what we have realized is many a times the just urban planning programs or those who have the skill sets of urban planning per se, it is important for them to acquire the skills of urban management and including the finance. How do these local institutions in the cities, how do they function? So this is where we bring in the value addition to all the programs. And for example, from this program on urban development management, most of our students are placed and are working with either directly with the organizations who are into smart cities domain or the consultancy services who are providing consultancy to these cities in the broader area of, let's say, urban management, urban planning, and smart cities particularly. One thing just to also respond to this specific question, all our programs specifically focus on the broader domain of sustainability, which is not limited to ecology and environment, but our comprehension of our students about sustainability is the importance of local priorities. So in all the domains, they do focus on that and try to address those across various disciplines and the programs.
Thank you, sir. So coming to the next question, so what do you think your roles and responsibilities to the university and the students are?
In terms of my role, or you're saying university?
No, in terms of your role, sir.
Yeah, my role comes with a very interesting portfolio that I do cater to for the university, which is on research and partnerships. Research, particularly at TERI School of Advanced Studies, is given a lot of importance, and we take a lot of pride in that because that is catering to twofold benefits. One, of course, is all our programs and courses and teaching is always research informed. So our faculty is very actively engaged into research. And second is that the faculty themselves are leading through my departments at the universities. These departments are actually leading research in very advanced areas. And this research keeps the faculty members updated for what they bring into classrooms as part of their taught courses. The second is on that we rely and we do admire our collaborations with many institutions within India and outside, and that provides actually a lot of complementary knowledge that exists globally. So we do, while we are focusing when it comes to addressing issues, we are focusing on India, but we do acquire knowledge globally from all these collaborations that we have with many of the leading universities in the world, such as Yale University in US, such as Frey University in Germany, and so on and so forth. So we do enjoy a lot in terms of international and partnerships with institutions domestically as well. These also include the partnerships that we have, the collaborations that we have with the leading organizations in the government of India, with some of the leading corporate sectors. And for example, we do have a university corporate network which is focusing on business sustainability. TERI University is also one of the only university from India which is part of the International Universities Climate Alliance. That's a global consortium of around 45 plus universities in the world. So this is how we do bring in some additional knowledge for our students.
So heading on to our last question. So what do you think university's top priority over next 10 years?
I think university's top priority is looking at how the higher education sector itself contributes in this India's growth towards a balanced and sustainable growth in future, which means while India is now gearing up and celebrating the 75 years, India at 75, how does any university like us contributes in that vision? That is first and foremost. At the same time, what is it that are the advanced research that we are doing? What is the impact and use of that research for this growth vision, which is, I would say, as a shared vision between universities and the government or the corporate sector? How do we contribute in realizing this shared vision now and in future? I think that's one very important area. And when we look at this, research does have a very important role. But more important than that is where many a times we as universities do lack some time in terms of how do we communicate this research. So that's one very important, that the research that we do, even if it is the best of research of advanced quality, it is important what is it that we are communicating to, let's say, for the government or the corporate sector or those who are concerned with outputs of this research, so that it is put into practice and made use for its for the benefit to the nation and also for the domain in which we are, such as sustainability globally as well.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, and it was really an insightful session.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you. All the best.